22 teams to just 2. The battle for South Australia's Federation Cup Championship heats up today. The Mulberry Jets finally take flight after their last defeat in 2022. But will Campbelltown City claim their glory and a key to the city? We'll break down this epic journey to the Cup, hear from the determined coaches, and much, much more. Don't miss a minute of the pre-game show brought to you by The Local Game. Welcome to The Local Game pre-game show ahead of the Federation Cup final. A big day here today. I'm your host, Johnny Keko, alongside Marc Talbot. Good to have you on board, Marc.
Thanks for having me as always.
It is a pleasure to be here today. A big occasion on the cards. It's a massive day. Both teams a very, very long wait ahead of their next cup. It's been 35 for Mulberry Jets, 30 for Campbelltown City, but it all could be over and done with for one of the sides.
Well, we know it's going to be certainly over for a long wait for one of the sides. So the other one, unfortunately, will have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting today to see what happens, which way it does go, but we still have 90 minutes plus potentially more time, and which I reckon it will be going in that direction with how tight these two teams are heading into this cup final. A little bit of how today's cup final pre-game show will go. It's a little bit of flavour from the local game show, which you watch on Thursday nights on Keko Media YouTube. But today it's exciting because it's pre-game of the cup. Two big teams coming head to head. We've got a lot in store today. Press for time later with Antonis Pagonis, a regular segment, and also a feature on the Mullens, two brothers. So can't wait to share that. A little bit of brotherly love heading into today's cup final, and also some blast from the past with a couple of appearances from players from those last two cup finals as well. But without further ado, let's get into the cup of today and have a look at the Mulberry Jets first of all. Let's have a look at their run to the cup to get to this point. They've had to knock out some teams. What have you thought of the run they've had so far?
Yeah, look, I think out of the two teams, Mulberry have probably had a slightly easier run. They've had to play Seaford Rangers in the first round. They played Victory, who are bottom of the State League 1 at the moment. Then they beat Croydon, and in the last round, Adelaide Olympic, which would have been probably their toughest. And I was at that game, and to be honest, I thought if Olympic had a striker on the day, they could have won the game. So I think Mulberry a bit lucky in that regard. But overall, they've had a great season, so deserve to be there. And
then we look at the semi-final as well, which they played at Service FM Stadium. They beat Adelaide Olympic, a very fiery occasion down there, but it was only a minimal scoreline, a 1-0 win to them. What did you make of that performance?
Yeah, look, like I said, overall, Mulberry got their goal and sort of sat back, and then towards the end of the game, they just tried to hold on to their lead. But like I said, if Olympic had a striker that could put that ball in the back of the net, it could have been a very different story for Mulberry, and they wouldn't be here today. Olympic had some great opportunities at the end, and their goalkeeper, who was rested last week but is most likely back for this game today, stood up tall and made some massive saves at the end of the game to keep them in it.
And we could talk about their run to the cup, but what matters most is their form heading into this cup final, and that's the last 5 matches. They're undefeated at the moment. Mulberry Jets have had 3 wins from their last 5 and 2 draws, and those draws come against Metro Stars and South Adelaide on the weekend. So a 3-3 draw with South Adelaide, obviously that would just hurt them a little bit.
Yes, it's hurt them in the league a little bit, but I think also Souths have got a lot to fight for. They're playing for that, trying to get out of relegation. But Mulberry have also, we know, they would have probably had one eye on this game today. Last week, Ryan Nild in goal didn't play, so they'd rested him, getting him ready. So they would have had one eye on this game, without a doubt, going in against bottom side South Adelaide.
Well, let's head in to look at the other team today, Campbelltown City, as they had a tougher road to the cup final, where they kicked it all off against the Western Strikers. A 2-0 win there. Obviously, we spoke a little bit about it off air before the game, how it's been a tougher of the two.
Yeah, look, I think they've probably had that slightly tougher run. They've had Western Strikers, Adelaide Blue Eagles, Cumberland, and Adelaide Comets. So I think it's probably been a slightly tougher run in the fact that Cumberland and Blue Eagles are both sitting in that top 4 spot in SL1 fighting for promotion. So I think they've probably just had that slightly tougher run.
Yes, and then the semi-final as well against Adelaide Comets, a 2-0 win at Service FM Stadium. Mark Marino scoring those 2 goals. So he's going to a big part in that game. So a very good semi-final down there.
Yeah, look, Marino has been on fire the last sort of month or so, 6 weeks. He's scoring goals for fun at the moment. So I think he's a key player for Campbelltown in this game. We know they're all key players, but he's going to be one to watch out for.
Absolutely. And, well, form again, they're still undefeated as well, but one less win with an extra draw compared to Modbury Jets. But obviously the form, another draw coming off the back of a draw from the weekend as well for them.
Yeah, and look, it's a cup final. Form, to be honest, will go out the window. They'll both be up for it. They'll both try and win the game regardless. So league form will go out the window a little bit, and hopefully we just see a great game.
Yeah, well, they'll look to try and get that extra win over Modbury Jets today. A big occasion. Well, it is a big occasion, and that's why we hired the big guns. He's a regular on the local game, and he's here for the pre-game show as well. Antonis Pagonis with a very special cup edition of Press for Time.
In 2024, Modbury have the McCabe's, but in 1989 it was the Kent brothers doing the damage for Modbury. When the Jets last won the cup final, Brian Kent scored both goals against rivals Parry Hills Knights. Meanwhile, in 1994, the last time Campbelltown City won the cup, part of the squad was Mario Boffa, father of James Boffa, and George Konstantopoulos, father of the Konstantopoulos brothers. Let's see who can add the names to history today.
Antonis always brings the goods, and well, we had the Kemp brothers back then. He made a good point because we got the McCabe brothers in this one, and also the Mullen brothers as well. But we got some family ties as well with Boffa, who's on the bench, but he loves yelling and supporting his side, so he'll be up there in the stands, that's for sure.
Yeah, he certainly will be, and I'll be surprised to see who his partner in crime is this week.
Well, looking forward to seeing that. But, well, we got a bit of flavour down on the sidelines, and that is the flavour of Seb O'Neill, the commentator for today. He is on the boundary to give us a bit of an update ahead of today's game.
I'm here on the sideline. Thanks again, Johnny, for that with David Grant and special guest Stefan Mauk. This reserves game is just going into extra time now, but we're pretty much ready to go to the both of you. Both very excited for this game, David?
Barely slept last night. I was up very early and I've had a haircut and I've brushed my teeth and everything for this, so I can't wait.
Yeah, he was prepared for once. And Stefan, thanks so much for joining us again. You excited to be here on this Cup final day?
Yeah, it's great. Obviously my debut in the commentary box, so I'm excited to I guess see it from a different perspective and hopefully give some good knowledge and experience of my playing and just really watch Campbelltown and Modbury go at it for a good game. Yeah, we cannot wait for this one. It'll be a very tight game. We might go through predictions after, but how do we think this game will go from the start, David?
Every time we do a cup, I always say it's going to be a cagey affair, and it very seldom is. So I'll say it's a cagey affair, and it'll end up 3-3 at extra time.
I was going to say, got in 3-3, can it? Stefan, of course, having played against some of these players, what do you expect coming from this game? Yeah, I think Campbelltown have probably got a lot of big game players. They've been around the top for years in the NPL, and Modbury last year, obviously with the big defeat against Adelaide United youth team, they'll want to probably bounce back from that final, and I reckon Campbelltown will get up 2-0, Mark Marino for a double. Big predictions happening here. Of course, last time Modbury were involved in the cup final, they did lose 5-0 to Adelaide City here with down to 10 as well. Very much looking forward to kick off, as we said, this reserves game, just getting the first half of extra time underway. But I think we're all pretty much ready. David?
Absolutely, can't wait. Bring it on.
Let's go.
Thank you for joining us. We'll come back after a minute, but plenty of more cup action and pre-game action to come.
Yeah, this is a massive occasion for our club. We're finally feeling like we're hitting our straps, and we're finally competing with the best teams in the state. Campbelltown will be no easy beat. We've been going really well in the last 10 years, and make it that little bit more special for myself is I get to play my baby brother, and my baby cousin. It's super special for the club. It's been such a long time. It's been 30 years since we've won a Federation Cup final, so hopefully we can win it for the club. And then obviously on a personal note, it's especially special for the family, obviously with myself and Maddie playing against each other, and then having Daniel there playing alongside him as well is really special. It will bring me back to those times where I played almost every day with them in the backyard after school. Many memories of not only my brother but my two cousins, Michael and Daniel as well. So I remember always it was Daniel and Maddie versus Michael and myself. You know, that unstructured play without any rules, 2 goals, 2 versus 2. I think that was the most fun and exciting times you know, in the game for me. The two younger cousins were brothers, and we definitely copped it and had a few arguments in the backyard. Alex was in goals a lot of the time when we only had 1 goal to play with, because he was quite small. But we had such a good time. I mean, football's always been a huge part of our family, and you know, it started in the backyard. And you know, now we're kind of towards the end of our careers now, I guess, and to go up against each other in the grand final is, you know, kind of a really special moment to you know, think back at all those times battling against each other, and hopefully it will be nothing short of a really good battle again. Playing against my brother is great, but my cousin's also playing too, so it's a special moment for the family, but it's a huge, momentous moment for the club as well, especially after such a long drought in not winning this trophy as well.
1994 was a big year for Campbelltown Slingshot Club. We played off and won the Federation Cup, which was one of the highlights of my career. And the celebration back at the club was just enormous. Still, when I catch up with players of that era, that team, we still talk about it, and that's what happens when you're in final.
I was a member of Modbury's 1989 PGH Cup final winning team. Great memories whenever we catch up, ex-players from that same team, we still have a great time talking about it. Supporters, still catch up supporters from the day as well, and it's always a good talking point.
It will mean a lot for us to win this. Any trophy is so important for the club. If we do get that piece of silverware, which we've been going for a while now, a couple of grand finals, is going to be a lot of excitement.
Let's hope that Campbelltown lifts the trophy again, and after 30 years that'll be something really special.
Seeing Modbury win it again this weekend against Campbelltown, it'll be a great lift for the club and for us ex-players as well to welcome them as cup winners.
Alex has won some silverware together, but maybe it's time that the older brother wins just like back in the day, back in the backyard. Maybe it's time, just as I'm getting a little bit older, that I'm going to say that you let me, but I'll win a couple of headers over you, and this time Modbury Jets can take the silverware home. A few arm wrestles back in the day, Matty, but I imagine today will be nothing short of the same. So looking forward to it.
Well, a lot of history there with the Mullens, and a little bit of fire, friendly fire, of course, with the two Mullen brothers, but they'll be excited, and I think the family in the stands will be very torn between who they go for.
Yeah, there will be certainly split. We need those half and half shirts just for the family.
Yeah, we do, don't we? I'm sure they would wear it. Also, another cousin Mullen playing for Playford, not in today, but he can support one of his two cousins, who knows. But anyway, a little bit of a taste of the old school players in there from those 1989, 1994 Cup finals with Boffer and Ian Cole. It's cool to hear from them and what it means to them, and hopefully welcoming them to the party.
Well, the fact that they've still got memories, fond memories of those days, and it's been 30 and 35 years, just shows what these guys can look forward to when, in another 30 years, that they're going to be able to catch up with their mates and celebrate their victory then.
And we know how close the Mullens are as well. They've got the man picnic as well, so they'll be catching up with their mates for the rest of their life.
Exactly.
But anyway, they'll be catching up with some fans as they all do a road trip as well for the Australia Cup. Those fixtures are out at the moment, so let's take a look at where they'll be going for the Australia Cup. All away for the three South Australian teams. Campbelltown off to Morden City Excelsior, whilst a short trip to Melbourne for the Modbury Jets against FC Melbourne Serbia, and also LA United Blacktown City, a big one for them, but exciting for the boys. I know how much I love their road trips.
Yeah, not only is it a great road trip, but all three winnable games, I think, for the three teams, which is what we want, because we don't want them to get an A-League club straight away. Next round, that's when you want the A-League clubs.
Absolutely. Well, it's ticking closer to kick-off, and we caught up with the head coach of Modbury Jets, Morris Atali, moments ago.
Morris, you're coming into this final here with a little bit of mixed fortunes in recent weeks, including a 3-3 draw last week against South Adelaide. What have you done through the week to try and address that and to get the players motivated for this big game?
Oh, not a lot, really.
Two teams are very evenly matched. What sort of message have you given, what sort of preparation have you given to the team ahead of this final that's different to a league game?
Now, so
for me,
rested them last week. They had little niggles. So no, look, we're confident. We're just happy to be here and see how it goes today.
Good. So secondly, the Modbury have been in 3 finals. The first one was 1989, which they won when you and I were just nippers. Is there a bit of a weight of Is there a bit of a weight of expectation on the team with regard to that this could be the first win in 35 years?
No, look, we're just basing it on the last few years actually. So we've been in 2 finals and lost both. So we'd like to be at the other end of one.
Okay, well done. Good luck today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, he's always generous with his time. Also, another coach generous with their time, Michael Matriciani. We also caught up with him just moments ago as well.
Should be a tight game, this one. 2 teams are very evenly matched. What sort of message have you given, what sort of preparation have you given to the team ahead of this final that's different to a league game?
For me, it's not different. Every match is we go to win. We're very excited for it. Obviously, there's a trophy at the end of it. We have already qualified both sides for the round of 32. That's the biggest prize of all playing in this cup competition. But both teams are evenly matched. Most of our games over the last couple of years have been good thrillers, so we'll hope it's going to be the same. But hopefully this time we get to the chocolates.
You've been practicing penalties this week?
No.
Well, they're raring to go, we're raring to go, and I'm sure all of you are raring to go for the Cup final. We're only moments away from kick-off. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining me, Mark.
Thanks for having me, as always.
It's been a pleasure joining us today. This is the local game pre-game show for the very first time on the Football SA channels. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed it. And kick-off is not far away. Don't go anywhere on the other side. Your match day commentators will be joining you for kick-off in the Federation Cup final between Modbury Jets and Campbelltown City. Who will be taking the cup and who will be rewriting history after a very long wait?